Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to another general reading. Before I start the reading today, I just wanted to say that as soon as I decided to do this reading, I heard this message, and it was just go have fun. Just go have fun. And where I am in the world, it's really, really sunny today. It's one of the first truly sunny days here, as it's been raining and actually flooding in my city for several days. And we weren't sure when the rain was going to end, but today is the day. And it's going to be very warm out today. And so, whoever needs to hear this, just go enjoy yourself, relax, and have fun, which is actually pretty topical as I go into the energies for the reading today. Because the overall energy for the reading is the Seven of Wands, which is about a blockage. And for many of you, I'm seeing this could be something that you could have been blocked by for a long time in your energy. There's nothing in the cards to denote like a long passage of time. It's just sort of an energy that I'm picking up on here. And when I clarified the Seven of Wands and that blockage, we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Cups. So the number seven could be significant for some of you here. In another reading, we had 777 as a really important number, and that could be a continuing sort of theme for some of you. And I'm seeing really that there's something here that you may be obsessing over a little bit that is in your energy that could be kind of blocking you from reaching more loving and abundant energies with the King of Cups there. There could also be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy here, or Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Because we also have the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords coming up throughout the reading. I also pulled some oracle cards for the overall energy for the reading. And the oracle cards that I pulled are maturity, guilt, and awareness. So there could be something about in order for you to grow, it's like you've had to move through some sort of pain or shame or guilt around something and sort of become aware of some deeper part of you and then grow through that experience. So it's pretty intense, and whatever it is that you are working through here could feel kind of cyclical, or like maybe like a bit of a feedback loop, like you're kind of going around and around with this. And there's sort of like a deeper message in the experience of whatever it is that you're obsessing over or why you're obsessing over it. And we're going to kind of dive into those energies here. In the recent past, it looks like something was said or communicated that was pretty heartbreaking for you, with the Three of Swords to the King of Swords to the Four of Pentacles. And you or someone else could be holding on to this here. I am seeing that this could have to do with another energy, but it's an energy that feels kind of cold in your life or represents some type of like emotionlessness or some type of like lack of warmth or something like that. Let's take a look at the Three of Swords in the recent past to see what was so painful for you, Sagittarius. Ooh, many cards flying out here. Spirit definitely has messages for you today. They're like, we are going to talk to you about whatever this is right now. So buckle up and listen up. Let's take a look at this Three of Swords, Spirit, for the heartbreak in the past, or the pain. The Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Ten of Swords. It's looking like something very much left you kind of on your own, or left someone on their own, excuse me. And it was really a struggle to become okay with this. Maybe this happened really suddenly, or it was really unexpected, or it was like, I don't want to be alone, I don't want to do this by myself, but looks like I'm just going to have to. And that was no easy thing to experience. It looks incredibly painful with the Ten of Swords, and it also marks the ending of something in your life, maybe some phase in your life, something like that. And it was not easy, is what I'm seeing. Let's take a look at the King of Swords here. Queen of Pentacles again, Two of Pentacles in reverse, the Lovers in reverse. I usually don't read reversals, but I think my cards got kind of switched around here, which again signals that you're dealing with something from the past, or something that was pretty negative in general. Um, and what I'm seeing here with the Two of Pentacles and the Lovers coming out in reverse is there was some type of connection or commitment or something like that that got flipped on its head. And it's like everything that made sense about this suddenly didn't make sense anymore. And it really threw you into a tailspin, is what I'm seeing here. And it's like, yeah, if there was some type of security or something that made sense, suddenly it doesn't make sense anymore. And I see you kind of grasping with the Four of Pentacles, kind of for whatever you can here, to kind of steady yourself, but there isn't much left in the wreckage of this to hold on to. Going from the Nine of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles, it's like, all you have is maybe the clothes on your own back or your own resources. Suddenly, whatever you were relying on here, it just got all tossed around and you couldn't really rely on it anymore. And so I see you kind of grasping for scraps or grasping for, whatever you kind of can here in the chaos of this whole situation. And it was very hard for you to move on from. It's almost like, if a bomb goes off and your house is destroyed, and then you try to return just to salvage whatever you can, and there isn't much to salvage, but you're like, where else am I going to go? That's my home, and so you keep returning to that place or that energy, trying to find something that will make sense here, and it looks, incredibly confusing, incredibly jarring, but it also ultimately, with the maturity card, guilt, and awareness coming out as your overall oracle cards, it's something that needed to happen in order for you to grow in an incredibly, spiritual and powerful way. Yeah, so I'm seeing that this really affected your confidence in your material surroundings. So for many of you, it could have affected a home, it could have affected a job, it could have affected, a foundation maybe that you built with someone else, and all of a sudden your foundation's being flipped upside down. You're like, I don't know what I can even believe in. And so you end up kind of returning to that which you do know or which you think you know. But it's an energy that very much keeps you kind of stuck in the past or stuck in energies that are definitely trying to be released here. Especially if this did kind of come from the outside or from some type of external event. It might have been the universe trying to redirect you to where you're actually meant to be. But it looks so confusing and so catastrophic in some ways that I see you going back over and over again. How can I salvage whatever parts of myself maybe I left there, or whatever it is that I could rely on. And it's almost like you don't trust what's coming next, because whatever happened here went so terribly that you're like, how am I supposed to move forward from this? And it very much affected, I think, your stability, your ability to believe that you could be okay. The ability to just trust in foundations, all of that gets shaken up. And in the current energy, I just see you very anxious about this. And for many of you, this could have something to do with a home or a family life, something like that. Let's take a look at that with the Four of Wands. I came into this reading feeling very, positive and happy and energetic, and now I'm feeling like chaotic and kind of itchy and like a little bit scattered. And I think that I'm just picking up on the energy of whoever's reading this. And this may not even be something you feel all the time, but it could be sort of like this underlying background energy that is a big part of your life in some way. So let's take a look at that Four of Wands. Strength in reverse, Ace of Swords in reverse, Eight of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, there's this feeling of like, I don't know that everything's gonna be okay. Like, even when things are okay, maybe they're not, or maybe it's all gonna come crumbling down with the Four of Wands to the Two of Wands. It's like you're very stressed that whatever foundations you have or whatever foundations you might build are going to end up, crumbling down anyway, just because in the past this really unpredictable or painful energy happened, and it kind of keeps you from trusting maybe yourself, maybe other people, maybe the universe, and it's just incredibly stressful for you. Let's take a look at the Two of Wands, Three of Cups in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, Four of Pentacles in the reverse. When it comes to this King of Cups energy in the past, this could be like a specific person or a specific energy who maybe had other things going on with Three of Cups. For some of you, it could have just been an instance of someone, like you were in a relationship with someone and they cheated on you, or they involved other energies that maybe weren't supposed to be involved. Whatever kind of happened there, for many others of you, this could just include like an entire family situation, an entire friend group, and really whatever happened there. I see you kind of trying to look at it and literally just like understand what happened. And it's actually really important that you release those energies. Those energies are meant to be in the past for whoever's listening, and by focusing on them really intensely, I see you kind of keeping them present in a way that maybe they're not supposed to be. And you may not even realize this, but when it comes to feeling steady and feeling stable within yourself, it's like as soon as you take a look at those past energies that were meant to be removed, you start to erode your own sense of security by doing that. And for others of you, it could feel like you're rebuilding your stability in this moment, or you're, entering into that new phase of your life. You're rebuilding into your whole self again, but then it's like half of you has a foot in this current reality and half of you has a foot in this past reality. And so even as you're moving forward, it's like you're still stuck in the past and you're not always moving forward. So for some of you, it could feel like half of me is here, but half of me is there. And so it's a very sort of fragmented energy. And it's almost like you need to make this leap over this barrier of the past and of looking at the past and of examining what happened here. But it's very hard for you to move through looking at this because there's something that still needs to be learned from it. And so you're still kind of taking a look at this, trying to learn what you need to learn, but then at the same time, time is moving forward, life is moving forward, and you're kind of being demanded to move forward as well. So I see you kind of being of two minds here, and it's very difficult for you. This is an energy that may have built up over time mentally for you. It could have stressed you out over a long period of time. It could be something that, you end up really, like, maybe day to day it doesn't bother you so much, but then one day it all kind of comes crashing over you. Let's take a look at that feeling with the Nine of Swords. Four of Cups, the Devil, the Death card in reverse. Oof, again, it's this loop that it feels like you can't get out of. This thing of like, I know I need to move forward, but I can't move forward, and I know I need to move forward, but I can't move forward, and I don't want to be obsessive, but I am, and I want to heal from this, but I can't. I want to release myself from this, but I can't. So whoever is dealing with this, be very, very, very gentle with yourself, please, because this is not an easy energy to contend with, and it looks like it's kind of spiraled into something that's so much larger than you, or it feels like something that is very much outside of your control. And it looks like you never really intended for it to get to that point. From your perspective, you're showing me like, I'm just trying to figure out what happened here. Like, I'm just trying to understand so that I can heal. But even as you try to do that, it's like it ends up spiraling and becoming something so much larger than maybe you even knew that it could become. And eventually that energy really blocks you from receiving or perceiving and understanding when love is in your life, because it's clouded by this really stressful energy. I am seeing that you would like to balance this out, obviously, like you're not wanting to stay in this energy. And if you came to this reading, you could be looking for sort of a way out of this spiraling kind of energy, a way to balance it out. So let's look at this sort of future-oriented energy, and let's look at the Three of Wands here. Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. This ending that was really painful, it's actually supposed to be supportive to you. Like, it may have felt very painful, but it's supposed to kind of open up new doors for you or more opportunities. And part of this does have to do with your perspective. Like, if you move through this energy, are you able to see that it opened something up for you, or are you only able to see yourself in pain? And if you are in pain, what is the pain trying to show you? I'm hearing go deeper. And so it's almost like, you can't see the picture here that I'm looking at on this oracle card, but in the oracle card for guilt, this woman, she's clutching her head. Looks like she's in pain. And there are these claws that are like reaching out and grasping her head. And so it can almost feel like there's something pressing down on you, and your task is to then kind of free yourself from that energy that's pressing down on you. And it's like, what can you learn from the experience of feeling the intensity of these feelings, So on the one hand, there's you being in it and feeling it in the current energy. And then in the future, there's you kind of stepping outside of yourself to look at it from a bird's eye view, look at that pain. And Spirit wants you to ask yourself, truly, what can I learn from this? What awareness is coming to me from this pain that will help me grow? And not just grow for growing's sake, but grow so that you can actually experience your life to the fullest, and actually learn. Because there is a part of you that wants to move forward, and, the Queen of Wands is here. And there's a part of you that's incredibly full of life and incredibly full of vitality and abundance. And that part of you wants to charge ahead, but it's almost like you get kicked in the knees or something by this incredible pain from your past. And I see you almost wanting to be like, well, let me just break through that pain and just go forward anyway. And it's like each time you try to do that, you get pulled down by whatever this pain is. And Spirit is saying you're going to get pulled down by it until you take a look at the pain itself. And what I see you doing is taking a look at the facts of what happened, or taking a look at the events, or taking a look at your connection with whoever else is involved in this and all of that. And Spirit's saying, what if you switch your energy from looking at what happened here to looking at yourself and how it made you feel? And if you take a look at how it made you feel, you can take a look at, why did I respond to things the way that I did? Why do I feel the need to respond to this in the way that I did? Why am I getting so hurt right now? Not even why did I get hurt in the past, because maybe this happened 2-4 years ago for some of you, or 2-4 months ago. Like, this could be very far in the past for some of you. And the question isn't what happened in the past, but what's happening for you right now that you're still in so much pain. And so even if you have to think to yourself, and it's not going to be easy, but even if you have to think to yourself, yeah, I'm actually in pain because I still miss this person. Or maybe I'm in pain right now because I wish that I'd handle it differently, and I'm scared that I'm going to mess up again. Or whatever it is, it's going to be different for every person. But I see that there's, there are opportunities that are coming to you, or they're going to come to you, and you may not be able to reach out and receive them if you're still getting bottlenecked by this pain that's around you. And so Spirit's kind of asking you to do what it takes to truly balance out your energies, not just put a band-aid on it and say, I'll think about that later, or have a good cry and then it's done. But what can you do to sort of reach within yourself and balance out this energy for real? And what do you need more of? Do you need more care from people in your life? Do you need more alone time? Do you need more therapy? Do you need more conversations with yourself? Do you need more meditation? Whatever it is, there's something that needs to actually kind of be balanced out, and it's requesting to be balanced out. So when I clarified that balancing energy, the Six of Pentacles, we have the Three of Cups, the Four of Cups, the Nine of Cups. And this really comes back to the sense of being truly happy and harmonious with yourself no matter what's going on around you or with other people. And this situation may have gone up in flames partly from a spiritual perspective because you were looking to other people to validate you, or because you were looking to receive this Nine of Cups level energy, which is like deep seated satisfaction and harmony within the self, from the Three of Cups energy, which is kind of diluting that positivity, that abundance, and spreading it across multiple other energies. By which I mean to say, there's an incredible amount of happiness and satisfaction that we can come to when we find that within ourselves. And if we're kind of outsourcing that to other people, we're always going to end up unfulfilled because at the end of the day, we don't have that inner happiness. And it looks like for many of you, there's all these sort of jumbled up energies when it comes to this connection in the past, because you could have been expecting someone else or maybe multiple people to fulfill you in a way that actually you've always been meant to fulfill yourself. And you can keep trying to reach out to those other energies or to understand those other energies till the cows come home. But if you're not eventually coming back to yourself and finding a home in yourself, you're never really going to feel fulfilled with those other people anyway. And I think that we can know this on a logical perspective, but then it also comes down to, what is it really going to take for you to find stability and to find that sense of groundedness within yourself? Because ultimately I see you continuing to look for it in other people or other energies, and possibly the other energies that you looked for it in at a really basic level, like, weren't even nice. Like, maybe they weren't nice people, or maybe they weren't supportive people, or maybe they were emotionally manipulative, or maybe they were emotionally withholding. And all of this kind of happened because Spirit was like, whoa, like, you not only can you not have these negative people in your life, but even if they weren't negative, you can't look to other people for what essentially you're looking for in yourself. And ultimately, there is, what was I going to say? Ultimately, we do need other people. Like, we do need community, we need support systems, we need family and friends and all of that. And I'm not saying that you don't. I'm saying that regardless of what's going on with other people, it's very, very important that you find your center and that you know that you can rely on yourself emotionally. And there is, physical and spiritual, emotional self-care and all of that. But on a sort of core emotional level, are you getting thrown off by everything around you because you feel like you don't trust yourself, And are you friends with yourself? Like, do you like spending time by yourself? I remember reading about this study where I think it was men, like cisgender men, were put in a room alone for, I think it was about 15 minutes. And they could either choose to sit there alone with no stimulus, or they could choose to, like, electric shock themselves. And I think like 60 to 80% of them or something like that chose to electric shock themselves before the 15 minutes were over because they'd rather be electric shocked than sit with themselves alone. And it was very concerning for me as someone who does like to meditate and is spiritual and like enjoys alone time. I was like, wow, like, so many people deeply, deeply struggle just with sitting alone with their own thoughts, without TV, without their phone, without someone else coming in and out of the room. Like, just if you just sit with yourself, are you actually okay with that experience? Not only can you do it without electric shocking yourself, but are you okay with with that experience of just being by yourself? And I think that there's maybe a part of you that didn't even realize that it's very hard for you to just be alone, and that maybe when you're alone, it's so hard to be alone that you may even come up with things in your mind to be there with you that aren't necessarily healthy or loving or abundant energies either. You just need to just not be alone with yourself or something like that. And so spirit kind of is pointing out, you weren't just put on this path randomly where you struggled with this relationship, and you struggled with losing things in the past or with stability or however it materialized in your life, because for many of you it's going to have materialized in different ways. You were very much meant to experience the crumbling of your foundation so that you could realize that at the end of the day, it's important that you return to yourself and that you find that moment of space within yourself where it's just you and and that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be alone. All right. Whew. Intense energies today. So I'm just going to sit for a second and shuffle and just give you a second to be by yourself. Okay, so I just clarified the last card in our reading, which is the Queen of Swords, which is interesting because the King of Swords came out in the recent past and the Queen of Swords came out in the future. So whatever this other energy is that you've been connected to, especially through the mind, um, it is a powerful connection, and there's an exchange of energy that is still kind of going on, and that is traced through your past into your future as well. And so what I'm seeing when I clarify the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, the Page of Cups, which is that you could be very much also obsessed about what is coming next with this person. And whether or not you realize it, your task is not to respond to this other person in some particular way, either in the past or in the future. Your task is to connect deeper with yourself, no matter what goes on with this other person. And that's why the Seven of Swords, which is a card about deception, comes out here, because this other energy may come back around for you with the Six of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. Either they're going to come towards you or you're going to come towards them to some extent. I don't know when or how. Even just energetically, like even if it's not physically the same person, somehow this energy is going to return in your life. And Spirit is showing that it's very, very important that you move out of this space of your headspace and this hardship and this struggle in your head into more of a softer, more playful energy with the Page of Cups, where this is not going to be an experience that comes through the mind. Like, you're not going to be able to engineer this. You're not going to be able to do the most logical thing in this situation, because the whole purpose of this whole experience has been to step out of your mind and out of, those spirally loopy energies of your mind and into your heart, and specifically into your own heart, into your own sense of lovingness and abundance, rather than looking for that in other people, right? And so this energy will come back around, but it will only come back around when you're ready to receive it from a place of your heart. Because it looks like your heart is going to have something different to say than your mind. Your mind is going to be possibly very negative, and very anxious and very guilty and very ashamed, and it's going to be a struggle if you come to it from a place of your mind. And so if you're wondering, what's going on with this, when is it going to come back around, blah 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 blah, all that stuff, the answer is it's going to come back around when you're ready for it and not a moment sooner. And you're going to be ready for it when you're able to step into it from your heart space. And the bottom of the Oracle card deck says the master. And so there's something here that you're needing to master, that you're needing to, a lesson that you're needing to learn and work your way through this experience. And it's about mastering the energy of stepping into your heart rather than stepping into your mind. And you're focused on maybe the logistical details of when is this going to come back around, and how is it going to make sense, and how is it all going to work out. And Spirit's saying, wait. All of that energy, all of that thinking energy is blocking you from really moving forward and stepping into this heart space within yourself, because it's all about you and it's all about centering yourself, and centering your own heart space. It's not so much about what's going on with this other person. And if you stay obsessed with this other person, or you stay obsessed with understanding and consciousness of this other energy, you're actually moving further and further away from yourself and your own heart space, which is really what Spirit wants you to move closer to, is, a space of your own heart and your own feelings and your own emotional world. Okay. Whew, again, very intense energies. I hope this is resonating for someone. Let's get 3 cards of advice from Spirit about this before we close out this reading. Lovers, the Worlds, the 6 of Swords. Again, the advice here is very clear. You're meant to move away from this connection mentally. So whether or not this shows up physically in your life or emotionally or spiritually, the thought space that this is occupying for you, the challenge and the task that Spirit is asking you to take on, is to move away from this in your mind to create space for something else in your heart. And you might just find that whatever you're trying to manifest or whatever you're trying to move towards or have move towards you is actually going to come through once you move away from this in the headspace. And I don't think you even realize how much you're blocking yourself by thinking about this so much, but it's really about your thoughts and the power of your thoughts. And so I guess I would say moving away from this will take you closer to yourself. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this resonated. I hope that it helped in some way. I hope that you feel my love and my care today, and I'll see you next time.